that's lined by epithelium, and it arises by dilatation in any part of the nephron or from the collecting system. So basically it is a fluid filled sac that is called cyst, and it is lined by epithelium. It can arise by dilatation in any part of the nephron. So coming to the cystic disease of the kidney, multicystic renal dysplasia, in which the malformation of the kidney along with the cyst formation occur, and then polycystic kidney disease. Poly means more than two or three, that is called poly. And there are two types of the polycystic kidney disease: autosomal dominant polycystic kidney disease, dominant, and recessive. Autosomal recessive, that is called also childhood polycystic disease. And third is the medullary cystic kidney disease, because it can arise from the medulla and also called medullary sponge kidney. Nephronophthosis and acquired cystic kidney diseases means what are the other problems related cyst. The patients who are on the long-term dialysis for more than 10 years, they can develop the solitary cyst or multiple cysts in the kidneys. Hydatid cyst, it may occur in the liver or kidney, tuberculosis, and due to the tumor neoplasm. Localized or cortical cyst, that is called simple cyst. Hereditary malformation syndrome, that is called tuberous sclerosis or von Hippel-Lindau syndrome. It is a congenital disorder in which malformation of the kidney cyst as well as CNS symptom may occur in these patients. Glomulocystic disease, cyst arise from the glomes. Extraparenchymal renal cyst, that is pilocalyceal cyst, and hilar lymphangitic cysts. Now, important is the autosomal dominant polycystic kidney disease, because it is a common problem we are facing daily in the routine life in the nephrology clinic. These patients can present with a variety of presentation, usually dull pain, hematuria sometime, and stones and hypertension. So coming to the epidemiology of the autosomal dominant polycystic kidney disease, it's congenital disorder and it is autosomal dominant pattern. One of the common inherited genetic disease. Estimated prevalence of this is 0.1% in general population, and one of every 400 to 1000 live birth. It's 10 times more common than sickle cell disease, and it's 15 times more common than cystic fibrosis. It's multisystemic disorder characterized by multiple bilateral renal cysts that are associated in other organs. Because why it is called multisystemic, because apart from kidney it can occur in the liver, pancreas, arachnoid membrane, and seminal vesicle. 40% of the person liver is involved in case of the autosomal dominant kidneys. Non-cystic extrarenal manifestation of autosomal dominant polycystic kidneys are the cardiac problem, mitral valve prolapse, and CNS problem, intracranial aneurysm in 10%, and abdominal hernias. Cyst formation usually start in the uteral intrauterine life or just after the birth. 5% of the nephron affected, and it may involve any part of the nephron. Coming to the genetic, because genetic has got important role for the development of the cystic disease, polycystic kidney disease, autosomal dominant polycystic kidney disease. There are two types of genes, PKD1 genes and PKD2 genes. PKD1 genes are on chromosome 16 and PKD2 genes on chromosome 4. The disease due to PKD1 present earlier and rapid course. So while due to PKD2 it is a mild and present later stages of the life. The gene product polycystin play a very important role in the controlling the cell proliferation and differentiation. So the gene product is polycystin. So this slide shows the difference between the PKD1 and PKD2. If you see mutation, PKD1 mutation is commonly occur in 85% and PKD2 15%. Then onset of end-stage renal disease above 50 and in PKD2 above 60. Receptor problem occur in PKD1. Here in PKD2 calcium channel problem. PKD1 usually distal nephron arises from the distal nephron and severe form, and PKD2 it can occur in all parts, even extrarenal, and it has got less severe problems. Now coming to the presentation, manifestation, renal manifestations and extrarenal manifestation. What are the kidneys problems that occur in case of the autosomal dominant polycystic kidney? The renal size increase with age, and renal enlargement eventually occur in 100% of the patients with autosomal dominant polycystic kidney disease. It can lead to compression of the local structure like inferior vena cava and digestive system affected. Common problem, usually patient complain dull flank pain or heaviness, and 40% of the patient present with the hematuria and cyst hemorrhage. UTI is the common in these patients in the cystic disease, in the polycystic kidney disease. The common organisms are E. coli, Klebsiella, Proteus, and Enterobacteria. Stone is also occur in the 20% of the patients of the autosomal dominant polycystic kidneys. Most stones are composed of uric acid stones, calcium oxalate, and uric acid stones. Hypertension is also seen in these patients. The cause of hypertension, as you know, when the kidney size enlarged, erythropoietin hormone is secreted from the kidney. The function of erythropoietin, it increases the erythropoiesis, so increases the red blood cell mass, increases the viscosity of the blood. If increases the viscosity of the blood, increases the peripheral vascular resistance. So blood pressure is defined as cardiac output multiplied by peripheral resistance. And renin-angiotensin mechanism is also mediated in the development of hypertension. So hypertension is the most common manifestation of autosomal dominant polycystic kidney. So major contributor to renal disease progression and cardiovascular morbidity and mortality. If you talk regarding the end-stage renal disease, renal function usually maintained up to fifth and sixth decade of life. Average rate of GFR decline in autosomal dominant polycystic kidney is 4.5 to 5.9 ml per minute per year. But if you talk regarding the normal populations, after the age of 40, 1 ml per minute per year decline physiologically. The risk factors are male, black race, diagnosis, and first episode of hematuria before the age of 30, hypertension before the age of 35 years, hyperlipidemia, low high density lipoprotein, and sickle cell trait. So this slide shows again the renal manifestation autosomal dominant polycystic kidney that is already discussed to you. Functional manifestation, concentration power of kidney loss, reduced renal blood flow, hypertension that leads to target organ damage, cardiac problem, cerebrovascular, arteriovascular and glomerulosclerosis, peripheral vascular disease, pain due to cyst hemorrhage, gross hematuria can occur, stone formation and infection, renal enlargement that leads to pain, renal failure possibly caused by interstitial inflammation, apoptosis of tubular epithelial cell, and hypertensive glomerulosclerosis and compressive atrophy. So, after the renal manifestation of the polycystic kidney, now the extra renal manifestation, mean other than the kidney, that occur in 40% of the cases. It occur in both PKD1 and PKD2, leads to hepatomegaly, but preserved hepatic parenchyma and liver function. Cyst can occur in the pancreas, ovary, and seminal vesicles. Cardiovascular manifestation, valvular problem, mitral valve prolapse, and the brain vertebrovascular aneurysm or barrianeurysm that can occur in the 10%. Sometime due to rupture of this barrianeurysm, patient landed with the ER with a stroke, hemorrhagic stroke. Colonic diverticula, presentation of colonic diverticula is hematochezia, fresh blood in the stool. So, what is the cause of death in these patients? Coronary or hypertension, heart disease in the 40% of patient cases. You know, the ischemic heart disease and hypertension is the more common in this condition. Then infection 25%, ruptured barrianeurysm 15%, and other causes. How will you diagnose? Diagnose is easily. You know, it depends upon the cyst size. If the patient presented to you in the clinic, nephrology clinic, thin lean patient, if you palpate the kidney bimanually, the cyst can be palpable. If the patient is obese, so it's difficult to palpable. So renal ultrasound is the simple non-invasive investigation by which we can diagnose the polycystic kidney disease. This picture is of ultrasound that shows the multiple cysts, one with large cyst, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So multiple cysts in the kidney. Then the genetic testing. Genetic testing can be performed when a precise diagnosis is needed and the result of imaging are indeterminate. The genetic testing done by two methods, linkage analysis and molecular testing by direct DNA. So differential diagnosis of the polycystic kidneys, one is renal hydronephrosis, bilateral hydronephrosis or unilateral hydronephrosis. So in which also the kidney become enlarged, dilation of the pelvic system, autosomal recessive PKD, tuberous sclerosis, von Hippel-Lindau disease, renal cyst and diabetes, and the orofacial digital syndrome type 1, medullary sponge kidney, simple renal cyst, and hemodialysis associated acquired cystic disease. After diagnosis, obviously we have to treat these patients. So treatment depends upon the symptometer. First reassurance to the patient, then the presentation of the patients. The patient can present with a flank pain, so we should give him the NSAIDs, but we should not give the long term because these are the nephrotoxic drugs. So if the conservative measures fail, cyst decompression should be considered, cyst aspiration under ultrasound or CT guided. To prevent the reaccumulation of the cyst fluid, sclerosing agents such as ethanol or acidic solution of minocyclines are commonly used with a success of greater than 90%. If multiple cysts are contributing to pain, then we should think about the laparoscopic or surgical cyst fenestration may be the beneficial, and surgical decompression is effective in 80 to 90% of the patient at 1 year. If the patient develops cyst hemorrhage, the episodes of cyst hemorrhage are self-limited and respond well on conservative management with bed rest, painkillers, analgesia, and hydration to prevent the obstructive clot. This requires hospitalization and transfusion. UTI, we should think which antibiotic has got penetrating capacity in the cyst, because all the antibiotics are not advised for the treatment of the cyst infection. The common antibiotics are fluoroquinolone, trimethoprim and sulfamethoxazole. It is the drug of the choice for both. If fever persists after 1 to 2 weeks of appropriate antimicrobial therapy, then we should drainage the cyst because it may be infected, and send the culture of that, and according to culture and sensitivity, organism and antibiotic should be chosen. Nephrolithosis means stone formation. In stone, because already told you the common stone is the uric acid stone or calcium oxalate, but uric acid is on the top. The treatment is the potassium citrate, it is a urinary alkalizer. It is the treatment of choice in the 3 stone forming condition associated with a autosomal dominant polycystic kidney, uric acid lithosis. We should control the blood pressure because uncontrolled blood pressure, it can accelerate the decline in renal function and it can aggravate the extrarenal complications. So we should control the blood pressure. Antihypertensive agents of choice and optimal blood pressure target are usually in these patients we should give ACE inhibitors or angiotensin receptor blockers. These are the drug of choice to control the blood pressure. Progressive renal failure, how to decrease the progressive renal failure? Avoid nephrotoxic agent, hydration therapy, control of blood pressure, regular follow-up, then we can decline the renal failure in this patient. Progression of the CKD, intracranial aneurysm, aneurysm, it depends upon the size when surgery is indicated. If the aneurysm size is between 6 and 9 mm, it remains controversial. Surgical intervention is usually indicated for all unruptured aneurysm in which the size is 10 mm in diameter or more than 10 mm. The patients with high surgical risks with technical difficulty. Nowadays, some novel therapies which are recommended for the treatment of the polycystic kidney disease. One is vasopressin antagonist. They decrease the cyclic AMP and decrease the cyst volume, and still currently under trial somatostatin analog. Somatostatin acting on the somatostatin receptor inhibitor cyclic AMP accumulation not only in the kidney but also in the liver. These are octreotide, lanotride, desertride. Octreotide and lanotride are generally well tolerated. Self-resolving abdominal cramp and loose stools are common in the first few days following the injections. Regarding the vasopressin antagonists, tolvaptan and convaptan, these are the drugs which are usually used. mTOR inhibitors, the mammalian target are rapamycin. The drugs are sirolimus, everolimus that significantly impair the cyst expansion and protect the renal function. Other investigation therapies are the SERC inhibitors, bosutinib, cyclic AMP activated protein kinase, metformin, PPAR, gamma agonist, and inhibition of the channels required for chloride secretion. Tumor necrosis factor receptor antagonist, and inhibition of the MET and the cyclin dependent kinase. So this is all about the cystic disease of the kidney. We have discussed first what is cyst, then type of the cyst, then congenital or acquired cyst, renal cyst, extrarenal cyst, presentation of the these cysts, how to diagnose, simple method by ultrasonography, then the management depend upon the presentation of the patient. Sometimes these patients require, if they develop the end stage renal disease, then treatment of choice is the renal replacement therapy in the terms of transplantation or maintenance hemodialysis. The transplantation is a treatment of choice for end-stage renal disease in patients with autosomal dominant polycystic kidney. There is no difference in patient or graft survival between autosomal dominant polycystic kidney patient and other end-stage renal disease population. Living donor transplant also a graft survival no different from that of the non-autosomal dominant polycystic kidney population. If any patient who has got no donor, then obviously uh, he or she require dialysis, maintenance hemodialysis. So thank you very much. This is all about the polycystic kidney, cystic disease of the kidney. It's very important. So read this lecture and read in the books because the from this various MCQ also given in your exam. Thank you very much.